Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hot Flashes and Cool Chats. So, I started these conversations because through my work as a midlife concierge and the community that I built, Mamas in Menopause, I am meeting amazing people that are passionate about supporting women in midlife. So, this chat series is my way of introducing them to you. You can hear their stories, you get to know them personally, and you get to learn about their products, services, and the resources that they offer so we can make this season just a little bit easier for us. So today I have such a great guest today. I'm so excited because she and I have been working together personally, professionally. Um, she's just such a wealth of knowledge and just somebody who just from her heart is wanting to support women. And I wanted to scream her from the rooftops and share it with you. So we have Miss Serena Teddy. She's a functional medicine practitioner and the founder of Steddy Health. So Serena blends her background as a physician associate, a registered dietitian, and a functional medicine practitioner to take really a holistic approach to women's health. It's so beautiful the way she interacts. I know I've been a patient of hers. It's just a different way of working with a professional that really wants to know the root cause, what's going on, and to really support us. So, with all that I just said, Miss Serena, how are you? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And please tell us a little bit about you and how you support women in midlife.
Of course, Meredith. Thank you so much for this platform. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and your audience, and for you to even like create this platform to have a resource for women to come on board and to find information. That's absolutely amazing and something we need at this time.
Yeah.
And a little bit about me. Well, I actually got into this world not because specifically for women, but the only woman I really wanted to help was myself.
Mm.
I was diagnosed with an autoimmune illness, 20 some odd years ago. And through my own journey of trying to figure out how to undo my own illness, I came to learn about health and wellness. I went through med school, I did the nutrition piece, I did functional medicine. Ultimately, at the end, to try to reverse my own autoimmune illness, which I did successfully
Wow.
5 years ago.
Wow.
And now I want to bring my success to a lot of women out there who are probably in the same shoes I was 20 some odd years ago, lost and confused. And I find myself more and more in this space of like hormones because it's such a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
And there's so much information out there. I'd like to be, a support for women to give them accurate information so that they can not just, thrive, but also figure out what it is they want in life.
Yeah. I feel like this is a story of a lot of people that we talk about that feel like when you get to where you're going through
Mhm.
your own journey, it's so personal and it is such a way that you can then give back.
Yes,
And when you're working with these clients, patients, whoever your audience is, it's so authentic because you've walked the walk.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And,
So
and when we're experiencing challenges with our hormones, when we're experiencing challenges with our gut or whatever, with our psyche, with our stuckness, whatever it happens to
yes.
be, you've been there, you've walked through it, you've known
So
it.
absolutely. And even after I went off meds, anything I would, suggest to a patient, I always try it first.
Mm.
So if I'm going to put someone on a vegan diet, I would have tried it. If I'm going to put someone on a completely carnivore diet, I would have tried it just because I wanted to know what it felt like to go through it and what changes I experienced.
Wow.
At the
Yeah.
end of the day, for me, accuracy matters, and if someone was struggling with whatever it is I put them through, I know exactly what the answer is because I've been through it and I've done that. And sometimes, which doesn't happen, too often, if it's completely not up their alley, I'm like, that's okay. We can pivot,
Yeah.
we can always pivot. And that's what I want people to know. It's like, there's this, I tell patients this all the time. I'm like, you have to remember your doctor works for you. I work for you. If you have questions, you ask me and I will give you an answer. And if I don't know the answer, I will find it for you.
Yeah. It's interesting. I actually had a chat the other day with a gentleman who supports women with financial literacy.
Mhm.
And it was very similar to what you're saying. You need to be an advocate for yourself in
Completely.
all aspects of our world these days. health, wealth, kids, parents, anything that has to be, you really have to be an advocate for yourself. And when you
Mhm.
find a professional that you really sync with,
Mhm.
great. And if you find someone that maybe you do and maybe you've changed, it's okay
Yeah.
to make the adjustment that you need. Giving women permission that it
Yes.
is okay that if you've been working with a certain doctor professional for, 20 years, I know that's similar to what happened to me with my gynecologist.
Yeah.
I'd been seeing him for years now. He wasn't a specialist with hormones.
Right. Right.
And it doesn't mean he wasn't a great doctor. He just
Right.
wasn't the right doctor for me at
At
this
that.
time in my life.
Yes, and it's completely okay to pivot. And
Yeah,
I tell my patients, just like I tell everyone, you have to learn to trust yourself because the only
yeah,
voice that ultimately matter is yours.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter how popular the advice is, but if it doesn't fit for you, it doesn't fit for you, period. There's no but behind that. It's just
yeah,
period. So learning to trust yourself, both in terms of like financial health, both in terms of like physical health or emotional health, all of those things is really the first step to trying to get you to heal.
yeah. And I love that though, because you really do take a holistic approach. And I know again from me personally with working with you, it's not just one thing we're talking about. You really kind of, because we're all over the place. And you
True.
know, and we're thinking it's our hormone, but maybe there's something that was going on in our life that is
Yes.
causing maybe some
Yes.
some stress, things like
Correct.
that. Yeah. So I love the way you approach.
Correct. I think, unfortunately, medicine has broken the human body into parts. And
Mm,
when you take something that's so whole and complete and you break it into parts and you see it in this tiny little detail, and we become so specialized in the medicine that we practice that we lose sight of the bigger picture. I
mm.
get this all the time, right? It's like the cardiologist not speaking to the pulmonologist who really needs to speak with the allergist, who really should be talking to the generalist, and everybody has
Yes.
their own theory of
Disjointed.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. And what it leaves patients feeling is they end up with like five different protocols or five different sets of medication, and you're like, whoa,
Mm.
am I really that sick? Why is
Yeah.
nobody talking to one another? But it doesn't resonate with me. So I get that quite a bit. When I
Mm.
realize, wow, it's like we can't break the human up into multiple pieces. And sometimes when there is, for example, this is a very common one amongst women in this age group. It's like when there's a loss of libido. I spoke with someone this morning actually, and I
Yeah.
asked her, how's your relationship with your husband? She goes like, it's great, but we've also been married 20 some years.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know, and but when we get going, we get going.
Right. Right.
Which means the parts work.
Right.
And it's not about the parts not working, because if the parts work, it's really about the connection of the humans.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I told her, I was like, yeah, I get it, man. I've been married for over like 15 years. And so, yeah, it really does require a lot of work to kind of make that spark happen again.
Yeah. It's a mindset thing, it's a mental thing, it's a tired thing, it's a,
That's just so,
you got other things. Yeah, yeah, but you're right. When the parts work, it's fantastic.
yes,
But there is a challenge. Some women do have that where maybe the parts aren't working, and that's a completely different
yes,
conversation and a different
yes.
thing to tackle.
Absolutely. So if the parts aren't working, then it's really about figuring out why the parts don't work. Sometimes the
Mm,
parts don't work because it is a hormone issue, and HRT, hormone replacement therapy, would be extremely beneficial. But sometimes the parts don't work because it's also a hormone issue and a metabolic issue
mm,
and a inflammatory issue. So there are layers to why the parts don't work. And
mm.
I don't know if you remember this, but there was a very funny meme of a picture where there was a man with one button and it says men, one button. And then there's another like picture of a woman and there's like dials and
Oh,
levers and women are complicated, right? Especially when it comes to intimacy. We're not, hey,
yeah.
show me pecs and I'm turned on. Women have to be wined and dined. And I joke with women all the time. I'm like, seduction happens when your husband takes the coffee cup to the sink and washes it.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Exactly. Well, it's so funny because I feel like that's it with everything. It's not just intimacy. It is, relationships with so much. It's with,
Yes.
we're navigating a lot in this space. So like what would you say, like what are most people coming to you and struggling with the most? Or is there even a most?
Three things. Most women at this age come to me for three things: fatigue, brain fog,
Mm,
weight.
yes.
I do
Yeah.
get libido. That's one, but I would say it's a number four, but the top three is those three: fatigue, brain
Yeah.
fog, weight.
Yeah. In
You
that
know,
order or not necessarily?
not necessarily in that order, but those are probably
Yeah.
the most common reasons as to why women come to me. A
Yeah.
lot of times, I would say women in general, especially women in this age group, we're very good at ignoring our own needs
Yeah.
until it begins to affect aspects of our life that involve other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will ignore everything for ourselves, but we will do everything for everyone else and try and fix and solve and do that
Yeah.
before we even, I kind of joke about this sometimes, before we put our own oxygen mask on.
Yes.
And like they tell you in the airplane, and you put it on yourself, because if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody else.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But women have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
But that's a deeper issue for a different day. But fatigue, brain fog, and like weight gain, those are the three biggest like reasons as to why women struggle, because during this time our bodies begin to change because we are going through a hormone transition that's going to last about a decade.
Mm,
And these changes, especially in this country, and I say specifically this country because in this country women are seen mainly as sexual symbols
mm,
rather than women can transition into this wise woman.
mm.
And I think a lot of women in this age, we feel the pressure to look a certain way, to look younger, rather than stepping into our wise years. And I don't think we value wisdom and knowledge, not knowledge, perhaps just mainly wisdom as much as they do in other countries.
Yeah. And
So
speaking of other countries, it's interesting because you have been a speaker at Mamas in Menopause, so you're
yeah,
an official expert for our group. So thank you. You were asked as a guest first
yes,
by one of our members and
yeah,
attended, and everyone loved and adored you, and we learned a little bit about you even as a guest. So of course we had to have you as speaker. But one thing that you said that continues to resonate with me is one of the slides was about different countries and
yes,
how in other countries, women are not experiencing menopausal symptoms the same
yes,
as us. It's not
yes,
medicinalized. Talk
yes.
about that a little bit.
So menopause is extremely medicalized in this country, meaning that it's very easily identified to be, hey, here's a problem, and therefore this is the solution.
Yeah.
It makes it very simple for people to understand, but I think making something that's so beautiful and complex, so simple, takes away the beauty of this whole transition.
Mm.
And in other cultures, they don't talk about menopause as if something is taboo. They talk about it as if it's a natural transition, just like we think puberty is a
Yeah.
natural transition. And that was the title of our talk, menopause,
Yeah.
just puberty, because this is a natural hormone change that all women experience, whether we like it or not. You
Right.
know,
Yep.
we will be taken kicking or screaming, or you can walk voluntarily through the times of menopause. It's something all of us will have to experience. What was interesting when I was reading the study was that there were different countries that experience menopause very differently. There were some countries that didn't even have the word hot flash. They didn't even
Right.
know what that is. They're like, what is this that you speak of as hot flash?
Yeah.
And some countries that grieved the loss of a period because they saw it as a loss of the ability to detox, and other countries
Mm.
embraced it because they saw it as an end of a chapter and the beginning of a new one where a woman can truly step into her own power. Because
Wow.
as women, we give up about what, 2 decades of our life and longer, depending on how old your children are,
Yeah.
for the growth of our families. And that time that we gave up is really a token of love. And when these children leave the nest, now you got this man that you've been married to for X number of years, and now you get a chance to rediscover yourself.
Yeah.
Menopause as that, as an opportunity, because now you can kind of pick up that dream. Maybe you wanted to be a writer, perhaps now's the time to write. Maybe you want to be
Yeah.
an artist, and now's the time to do that. Because by this age, a lot of us are in successful working positions, and we have the ability to see it differently versus, hey, now we no longer have to have kids. I don't want at this age, I mean, I'm more tired now than I was in my 20s, right? My sleep is just not the same as what it used to be. I don't want to be waking at 2, 3 in the morning trying to change someone's diaper
Yeah.
forever. I know
No.
someone good, God bless them, but that's not for me. So
Yeah.
when in other countries, I remember there was an interesting study of Indian women specifically. They looked at
Mm,
Indian women in India themselves, and they looked at women in England that had migrated from India.
mm.
And the study was very interesting because it showed that the context to which how we saw menopause affected how people presented their symptoms.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I feel like when I heard that coming out of your mouth, it changed so much for me
Right.
because I totally understand that it makes so much sense. We're thinking about menopause as dreading menopause as
Yes.
opposed to celebrating menopause. And let's think about this in life. If we're dreading doing something,
Oh my
it's going to
gosh.
be miserable. It
Yes.
could
Makes it
be it
harder.
could be a trip on a yacht. And if
Yes.
you're like, yeah, I just really don't want to go, the
Right.
weather's going to suck. You're going to
Yes.
experience it just terrible. Or if you're excited about it, you're going to get on this yacht. And even though it's raining, you're going to be like excited that the rain is cascading,
Yes.
across the boat or whatever. There's the way that you look at things,
Yes.
and it just, honestly, it just really makes so much more sense that I feel like us as a society are really mentally not putting ourselves in the right headspace to make
Yes.
this the time of our life.
And I want to highlight this, Meredith, because you are one of those women who has such a big heart and who want to help people.
Thanks.
Imagine the knowledge and the ability that you have that you can pass on to the next generation. I don't know. I know many women love helping other women. That's what we're all about, right? And we
Yeah,
love helping other women. Imagine the light, the inner light that comes up when we can step into that role and says, wow, now I can be in that position of servicing other people. What this
yeah.
does for me from the inside.
Yeah, and here's the thing is I'm able to do this where I'm able to support and service other women. And like
Mhm.
you, servicing and helping myself all at the same time because this is where alignment really came into play for me and I had no idea what I was missing. I was kind of chasing, figuring out what I'm supposed to do next or here's this place, this time of my life and what should I be doing with my career? And it wasn't until I really aligned with something that I
Mhm.
needed and
Mhm.
I realized that if I need it, I can't be the only one that needs this.
And I'm going to tell you a secret, which won't be a secret once I tell it.
Yes.
Which is when you look at society and you look at everything that we have in this world, every single thing that we have in this world, everything that became successful came from someone wanting to service mankind.
Mm,
Every little thing, that every little idea that they came up with that wanted to service mankind end up creating success for the entire world. So the
mm,
heart of wanting to be able to provide care, knowledge, service for other people will be the reason why you are successful.
yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
you as well. And you as well. I mean, I love what you're doing. Everything that you do really comes from your heart and your soul, your knowledge, your the eloquent way that you speak about really complex topics. You make it relatable,
I love it.
digestible. I just adore you. And like we said this before we started recording, I want to hang out with you every single day.
You might get sick of me though.
But I'm so, so appreciative. There's so much more that we can talk about. There's so much more that we can share. So prior to this, we already decided that we're going to have you on as a regular. And what we'll do is maybe we'll figure out if there's a specific topic that
Yes.
maybe we'll just kind of like
Yes.
dive into a certain topic the next time, but I just want
Well,
people to know who you are.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My intention when I started this company was to help women who really struggle with chronic illness,
Yeah.
especially autoimmune illness, that there is a way out. Because when I was told at the age of 20 I was going to be on drugs for the rest of my life and the list was just going
Mm.
to keep going, it wasn't something I could accept. And I
Yeah.
asked myself, there has to be a way out. There has to be a way to reverse this.
Yeah.
And despite being on medication and having had chemotherapy twice to put my disease into remission,
Wow.
5 years ago I went off drugs completely. And my
Wow.
rheumatologist, I'm going to see tomorrow, she's always like, I can't believe it's still okay. I'm like, yeah, it's been 5 years and I'm still okay.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for your bravery. Thank
Yes,
goodness for your eagerness to learn and your willingness to share. It's
absolutely.
stunningly beautiful.
Absolutely. Happy to
Mm.
help, man. Always happy to help.
Mm. Well, I'm bummed that we have to leave, but I want to thank everyone so much for watching this episode of Hot Flashes and Cool Chats. Thank you so much for your time. It's invaluable. Your wisdom, your beauty, you're stunning, and I love you. And I would hang out with you every day, like I told you. But anyway, we will make sure that you can also hang out with her every day with some
Yeah.
contact information. So we'll put that in the show notes so you can get a hold of Serena and just have a conversation to see if she is someone that is able to support you on this journey. So thank you, thank you. And until next time, remember, we are not alone in this midlife journey. Here's
Hmm.
to more hot flashes, cool chats, and lots of meaningful connections through these conversations. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.